Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from I Hate Facebook. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics or randomness or anything in between, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for... He wanted me to rank the Ninja Turtle films from worst to best. And the worst is, I mean, that's easily the Michael Bay produced bullshit. And I had to sit there though, like, which do I find worse, the 2014 film or the 2016 sequel? And if I had to pick, gun to my head, I'd be like, pull the trigger, because I don't want to watch those fucking... I never want to watch those two abysmal movies again. They killed my soul as a Ninja Turtles fan. They just killed my fucking soul. I think that could have been the start of how I got even more fucking cynical about movies. Because you have the opportunity to make a Ninja Turtle movie with like $100 million budget and you blow it in this big of a fashion. That's why I'm going to say the 2014 film is the worst. 2016 film is still a pile of dog shit. But the 2014 film I would say is worse because, again, you have not made a Ninja Turtle film since 2007. You haven't made a live action Ninja Turtle film since like 1993. You now have Michael Bay producing, so you don't need a budget. You get a over $100 million budget, and what you bring us is everything awful and nothing good. It's just a limp dick. From the way the characters look, Chupacabra looking, albino, they look like if Shrek fucked the Goomba from the Super Mario Bros. Movie and also had some incest involved, and these are their four fucked up, steroided up, redneck fuck faces. I don't know how else to put it. It's Shrek with no ears. They're inbred. That's the word I was looking for. They're inbred motherfuckers. I hate them with a passion. I hate them with a fiery being in my core of my soul. I hate the way they look. I hate the way they talk. I hate the way they fight. I hate the fact that they're ninjas, but they can't just be ninjas because that's not cool anymore. No, they have to be 8 feet tall and 10 feet wide. They have to be bulletproof. Yeah, their shells have to be bulletproof. They have to be so goddamn strong. They're as strong as the Incredible Hulk. Because you have Raphael early in the film in shadow lifted an entire container that you could put cars in. A shipping container. He lifts and throws it like the Incredible Hulk. If that's the case, why the fuck would you need to know martial arts? That'd be like the Incredible Hulk knowing Kung Fu. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And just how lazy and inept. Oh, let's take the story and be like, how are they martial artists? Well, they found a book in a sewer and they read it. And then they said, let's be martial arts. Even Splinter. Yeah, let's do martial arts. I found this book in a fucking sewer. What's the connection between Splinter and Shredder? Nothing. Jack and shit. And they both left off a fucking pier and hanged themselves after watching this piece of shit. Megan Fox, she's dumb, idiotic, untalented, pretty, beautiful, but untalented piece of hack. She got jobs because she's hot. She should just do porn films and nothing else. If you don't show us the titties, if you don't spread your legs and show us the pink pie, get the fuck out of my face. Literally and figuratively. I can't even talk right. She's the one who said, if you don't like this film, you're not a fan. No, I'm not a fan of you. I need you to leave Hollywood forever, and I want your career to be extinct. But it's not. There's going to be a new Expendables movie. People did not like her in the Transformer films, so what did they go? Make her April O'Neil. Talk about not having their fucking finger on the pulse. They had that finger shoved up their fucking ass. And I mean, just action scenes that could have been cool and they fucking fail. Oh, Raphael's going to fight the Shredder. Oh no, he gets his ass whipped and he doesn't really get much of a comeback and doesn't even put up a fight. Not even attempted a fight. He gets his ass reamed and wrecked and bent over backwards. Shredder took his lays, put it on Shredder's lays, and fucked him from here up Tim Butt fucking 2. And just Will Arnett was annoying. The guy that, let's face it, the original script was what their intention was. Colonel Schaefer. What the hell it was called. And alien, that was, I guarantee you that was the original fucking idea. I guarantee you. And there was stuff shot. I remember these photos about Raphael in a big trench coat and Megan Fox, two of them going through a fucking parade with these other people in their, SpongeBob SquarePants and all the other suits. Action scenes not worth a fucking pot to piss in. Oh, the mountain scene. Yeah, you saw the entire goddamn scene in the trailer. How do we maintain Donnie as a nerd? Make sure you got glasses of Steve Urkel's caliber. Mikey, have him be a fucking dude broski, butt buddies with Colin Farrell from the Fright Night remake. Be an annoying twat with a fucking nostril you could hang your fucking entire wardrobe off of. Raphael, he sounds like Batman, but he couldn't fit Batman's jock. Leo, as my friend said, looked like the Michelin Man, and voiced by Johnny Knoxville. Okay. That movie just, I could go on for an hour on that fucking movie. I hate that movie with a passion. I hate that movie with a fiber being in my core. I really fucking do. And 2016 is not much better. I'm giving more hate to the 2014 because it was the first to fuck it up. Oh yeah, Kevin Eastman, you went on these fucking interviews saying, I just don't have fight scenes like The Raid Redemption and Fist of Legend. Kevin Eastman, I don't believe a single word you'll ever say in your entire life. The fact that those words came out of your mouth, this is going to have fight scenes like The Raid Redemption and Fist of Legend, and yes, he did say that, you should be ashamed of yourself that those words came out of your fucking mouth. Sincerely. 2016 film wasn't much fucking better. Because let's take Bebop and Rocksteady, let's look at our dicks, and let's cast some shitty actors, including a shitty wrestler, as one of them. Let's take an idea that could be interesting, this ooze that turns them into human, and the turtles fight each other over should they be human, should they not be human. Oh, you get an idea that could actually create an interesting story, and you don't even do the basic levels with it. That is mind-blowing that you can't even do the basic levels of that. That's part of writing 101, and you even failed on that level. I'm not the biggest Marvel guy, but at the time, Marvel was kind of worth a shit at that time period. You could have learned a couple things from them, like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. And that came out the same year as the first piece of shit. So when you have a sequel to the piece of shit, you could have learned something from that, and you didn't. Because you're too fucking stubborn. And it was like, fan service will save the day. No, it didn't. All the people, oh, we got Bebop, we got Rocksteady, we got Crane. Fuck Crane, fuck Bebop, fuck Rocksteady. Guess what? They were in the movie, and the movie still wasn't worth a shit, was it? You put Bebop and Rocksteady. When did they fight the turtles? They fought them in a 30-second fight on an airplane. 30 seconds. And then they land in the water. They avoid a fucking missile. And that's it. Your big Bebop Rocksteady versus the Turtles. There you go. Because you gotta have some fucking idiot get the idea. Let's cast the guy from Arrow as Casey Jones. There's nothing about him that's Casey Jones. Not the way he looks, not the way he talks, not the way he acts, not his background. Because now he was like a cop. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But we just call him, he's Casey Jones in name only. And let's have him defeat Bebop and Rocksteady by himself. So the 4 Turtles couldn't beat them, but Casey, this shitty version, beats Bebop and Rocksteady by himself. And again, people think this is a good idea. Yeah, Megan Fox again, being a lack of talent. The only merit, to be fair, is at least they put a little bit more screen time on the Turtles compared to the 2014 film. And maybe if the designs were worth the shit, like maybe if the designs were like they were in the 90s movie or the 2003 cartoon or something, maybe I could get with these turtles. But they're just so fucking ugly. Like, get some fucking lip gloss and stop with the DSL lips and get some fucking plastic surgery, please. And the villain, Shredder wasn't even a villain. As in, he appeared with no mask. See, he's Asian. We want to make sure that you guys know this. But then he meets Crane and then he gets put into, I don't know, carbonite? I don't know what the fuck. And Crane, pretty much the Turtles do the same fight they had with Shredder in the previous film. They just do the copy, rinse, repeat into that fucking film. I hate that movie too. I hate both those movies with a passion. They don't know how the Turtles work. They don't know what makes them work. They don't know how people like martial arts in their fucking movies. There's more martial arts in Three Ninjas than both those films combined. Fucking sad and pathetic. So, those two can kiss my ass. Now, next up for worst. I gotta say it would be the third film from 1993. That's a film that has a lot of missed opportunities. Like, okay, you want to put feudal Japan. I prefer them in modern time. So I'm not the biggest fan of it, but maybe you can make it work. But you cheaped out on the suits. You went away from Jim Henson's great work on his team in the first 2 live-action movies, and you went cheap. So the Turtles look like they're diseased, with the moles seem a lot bigger on their fucking heads. They look like they got yeah. There's something wrong with them, man. They're sick. They're sickly. They're ready to die in front of my eyes. And Splinter looks like he was dipped into a vat of KFC original recipe and put back up and barely propped up. And that movie is an essential study of the phrase missed opportunity. You have Elias Koteas back as Casey Jones. Do you bring him back with the Turtles and maybe, I don't know, get some Casey Raph back and forth like it was in the comic books, or you get, Elias Koteas' entertaining performance like you saw quite a bit in the first movie? No. He's only in present time to be a babysitter, and Elias Koteas only did it, 1, for a paycheck, and 2, to play the other character that no one gave a shit about in feudal Japan. Some character no one gave a fuck about. missed opportunity. And the writer, who's also the director, apparently doesn't know how writing works, because he sets stuff up and pays it off the wrong way, or not at all, or there's no setup and then we're in the middle of it, or like this is stuff that's like writing 101, but it's like, oh, it's a kid's film, who gives a shit? Really? For example, there's this kid that gets saved from a fire. Mikey saves him. Leo gives him CPR. So who does the kid bond with? Raph. If you could explain that to me, I'd love to know. Wouldn't you just have Raphael save the kid from the fire? Or have Raphael give the CPR? Or do both? And that's why the kid wants to be friends with him? Wouldn't that make more sense on a story? Plot point? Anything? Oh, this girl named Mitsu. All of a sudden, Mikey's in love with her. Where did that come from? Out of the fucking blue. What comes of it? Nothing. I'm not asking for a Triple X parody. I'm saying, if you don't bring it up, have other actual scenes. You just have Mikey out of the blue go, what's your sign? And she ignores him. As if he didn't say anything in the first place. And why bring it up if you're not even going to be anything about it? And it's just lame villains, horrible costumes. Corey Feldman back as Donatello. I always thought he sucked as Donatello. I like Brian Tochi as the voice of Leo. Robbie Riss is the voice of Mikey. I thought the guy who voiced Raph was pitiful. I don't know what the hell he was doing. But Robbie Riss and Brian Tochi was the voice of Leo, Mikey in the first two movies. They came back. But it has lamer jokes about Adam's Family or Wet Willies or all this stuff. There's a hint of nostalgia because I saw those three films when I was a kid. So yeah, there's a sense of nostalgia to it. But I can't sit here and say it's a good fucking movie. It's not. And you watch it again, so I missed fucking opportunities. So that's why when I reviewed it, it was a rant. This is a bad movie. Next up, honestly, I would go with Batman vs. Ninja Turtles. Because while the Turtles, I don't mind some of the way their animation is. Batman has a cool fight with Shredder. I hate that I could predict that Batman was going to wreck all four Turtles in less than a minute very easily, because DC is not going to let Batman have a chance. There's no way the Turtles will have a chance against Batman, especially under DC's tutelage. So it makes your other part of your title seem pansy-ass wimps. And it's like, well, why does Batman even need these guys? And I thought just the way, okay, maybe they're fighting Gotham's villains. That could be cool. No. Instead, you guys fucked it up by making them mutants. And I don't give a shit if that's one of the comics. That doesn't mean it's a good idea. Just have the Turtles deal with the fucking villains as is. It'd be cool to see what maybe Raphael would deal with the Joker, or what, I don't know, Donatello dealing with Harley Quinn, or the Riddler. Mikey deal with the Riddler. Or Donatello, Riddles deal with the Riddler. And, I don't know, Mikey deal with whoever the hell you want to pick. Killer Croc? Sure. Or something, I don't know. You could create some interest there. No, turn them on the mutants, being the stupid... And the Turtles barely did shit when that happened anyway. Until the very end, to be fair. Raphael did one thing that when I first saw it, I literally looked down. Like, this is when I first saw it, this is what happened. I looked down, I grabbed something. By the time I got up, his bid moment was already gone. And so when I first reviewed it, people were like, what the fuck you talking about? This happened. I'm like, wow. It was so monumental that it was in the span of me looking down and getting up again to get a fucking water. Or I think it was a belly yellow. If that's the case, just have Raphael and Batman both fight Shredder and both get their hits in. Instead of Raphael doing this one swing and that's it. Plus, you know, if you don't base it on the comic, put the best part of the comic in the fucking movie. The best part of that comic was the first one where Raphael's so angry and mad and Batman shows him the site of where his parents died and that sobers Raphael up. And then that goes to later on where Raphael returns the favor to maybe sober Batman up. Which they have the second part in the movie, but not the first part, which was the bigger, more important part. And why do the fucking Gotham need to be mutants? It was stupid. It was a waste of a fucking idea. So that's why that made me mad. Then the 2007 CGI movie, because I saw in the theater. I liked it because, oh, it's Turtles. Finally back on the big screen. And I had to think, like, which do I like more, this or, like, Turtles 3? I have to be fair, at least the 2000 TMNT film, at the very least, number one, the Turtles look better than they do in the 1993 live action, you know, part 3 movie. And I like the idea Raphael's the Night Watcher. I like the Raph Leo fight for the most part. I think it's a well animated movie. I think it's a good looking movie for the most part. The way the humans look are weird, but like the background, the cityscape, when it's raining, the atmosphere, it's actually decent. But that's another movie with mixed opportunities. Because no one wants to take these characters any fucking amount of merit. Because they think they don't have any, even though you can if you actually, I don't know, ask a fan or two. I mean a fan that's not just, the pizza, dude, where's the pizza? They don't eat the pizza? I'm talking about like people who actually gave a shit about, yeah, you can make these as characters. Trust me. Because Leo in the 2007 movie, Leo's a dick. He's a hypocritical dick. He comes back from being a crime fighter in South America and had a secret identity. But Raph is a crime fighter with secret identity and he's wrong. But when Leo did it, he's right. So if Raph does it, it's wrong, but Leo did it and he's right. And the fact that Leo's so goddamn hypocritical, and even the movie never acknowledges that Leo, oh yeah, I was hypocritical, I was wrong, I was doing the same thing you were doing. Again, the writer-director, just like the writer-director of TMNT 3, they don't realize, like, it's no one just coming up to them and asking these questions, like, wait a minute. How does A go to B? What's going on here? And the villains were lame. Who gives a shit about these fucking monsters? And it wants to have goofy shit like Raphael fighting this little stupid creature in a kitchen, where Kevin Smith has a cameo. And again, missed opportunities where I know one of the original ideas was Raphael was going to die at the end, but then something would happen and he would be brought back. And you're, okay, well maybe that could have been a moment where he's guilty that Leo got caught, So maybe he takes a hit for Leo, and then maybe Leo has a good emotional moment where he realizes how he screwed up and he was hypocritical and he loves his brother. Something called character and emotion and story. We don't need that in a Turtles movie. That's stupid, Matt. Even though I think if you did it, it could work and be successful. But hey, you keep making your movies. Yeah, your movies were so successful. Your 2007 movie was so successful it never got a sequel. And then your 2014 movie was so successful that even though there's like 6 Transformers films, there was what, 2 Turtles movies? 2? Just 2? You got 2. You got 2. So that movie just. So then, from worst to best, it's 2014 Turtles, 2016 Turtles, 1993's Teenage Mutant Ninja, Batman vs. TMNT, 2007 TMNT, and now we get to the ones I like. Turtles Forever, Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, and the 1990 film. I like those 3 movies. Turtles Forever, yeah. I know people complain about the 80s cartoon counterparts and how they act. Yes, there are moments where I'm like, you could ease down on some of them off character moments. Like, that's not how the 80s Turtles would act as. They wouldn't be that scared, things of that nature. But at the same time, I guess part of me is like, I'm fine with someone taking the 80s cartoon down a page or two because it's not the fucking perfect 5 out of 5 star cartoon. I like it. I respect it. It's what got me into the characters. I grew up watching it tremendously when I was a kid. It's fun for what it is, but I do think like the 2003 cartoon did it better, among others. So again, and what's sad is that people always look back to that one and go, that's what it has to be. So it will never improve, it will never get better because it's that or nothing else. And that kind of was the good and bad side of the 80s Turtles cartoon. It brought people to the dance, meaning it brought those characters to worldwide phenomenon popularity, but because that became the most well-known version, people think that's what the Turtles are and nothing else. And so now there's a limit where there's this whole realm here. There's this whole realm here to explore. It will only reach this ceiling. It'll never break through. Because they think the Turtles are only goofy characters. They eat pizza, say dude, cowabunga, and that's it. And I'm like, no, there's a lot more you can do, but no one really wants to choose to do that. And it just pisses me off. But Turtles Forever, I thought was a nice... To me, I looked at it as a fun conclusion to the 2003 cartoon, which was the cartoon I gave more of a shit about. And it was cool to see the 80s cartoons bits still in there. And I thought it was a fun movie. I do. I still like Turtles Forever. And then Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze and Turtles 1 from 1990. I don't know which one I like more because I think they're two sides of the same coin for me. What I mean by that is you take a coin. On one side you have the dark, gritty Turtles film, which I think is well done for the most part. Although I don't give a shit about Danny. Fuck Danny. I wish that storyline should not have been in the movie. I don't give a shit about Danny and his fucking Sid Vicious shirt. And I don't care about his dad. I think you should take that whole portion out. But I like Elias Koteas, I like Judith Hogue, I like the look of the film, I like that it's a kid's film, but there's nice emotional moments like the campfire and they see their dad, or when Raphael's awake from the coma. I like that they take more nods to the original comic books. The one thing about that film that annoys me though is They set up Raphael and they don't fulfill his story. What I mean by that is you look at the 1990 film again, you realize, wait a minute, they set this guy up where he's the one who lost his weapon. He goes down. He meets Casey Jones. He meets April O'Neil. He saves April O'Neil. He has the heart-to-heart talk with Splinter. He gets in a fight, gets in a coma, and then nothing else. That's like the first X-Men movie where they built up Wolverine, but they actually followed through with Wolverine fighting Sabretooth and, having this moment to shine. They didn't do that in the Turtles movie. I don't know why. I don't think a single person has ever asked the writer and director about that. I'm sure they want to know what the hell you were talking about. But I'm like, if you actually look at it, they're building them up. I didn't like Wolverine in the first X-Men movie, and then they don't finish. Like, why can't it be Raphael save his dad and follow the kid Danny? Wouldn't that be some kind of fulfillment with, oh yeah, he had the heart-to-heart talk with his dad, Splinter, but now there's a full circle of that? Or maybe Raphael gets his dad and he says something like his dad said to him at the beginning. I mean, but I still really enjoy the film. It's dear to my heart. It's one of the things that got me into the characters. I love the suit design by Jim Henson. Other than Corey Feldman, because I've never been a fan of his voice as Donnie. I like the other voices. I think Robbie Rist is perfect as Mikey. Brian Tochi's perfect as Leo. Josh Pais is very good as Raphael. He's the one that brought the Brooklyn accent, New York accent, which fit the character. I like that. Despite the fact that the 80s cartoon is very popular, they decided to go a little bit of a serious route, even though it's a kid's film. I appreciate that. Now, Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze is, like I said, the other side of the coin. It's sillier and goofier, but I think it's more of a fun representation of the cartoon, while the first movie is a better representation of the comics. That's why I said I think it's two sides of the same coin. I think if you want a representation of the cartoon, Secret of the Ooze works well. One of the comics, first movie works well. And I think that has the best voice cast of the Turtles. Yeah, Robbie Rist, Brian Tochi, the guy who voiced Raphael did a good job. That I thought it was Josh Pais when I first saw it. I thought the guy who voiced Donatello was much better than Corey Feldman. The action scenes I think are fun. There's more shorts in that film than in Michael Bay's produced bullshit combined in his two. They don't use their weapons. I don't give a shit. You know why? 'Tis a rated PG. Unless you don't go R-rated, fuck the weapons. Swords are meant to slash and cut people's heads off. Just like Leo cut Shredder's head off in the Turtles. Scythes are meant to go into people's necks or chests. Or stab. Nunchucks are meant to hit people in the face. If you can't do that, then what is the fuck is the point of the weapons? So I don't give a shit there's no weapons, because they can't be used anyway to any effect. If you can't use the weapons, then why have them there? So I didn't give a shit. I think it has some very good interactions with the Turtles. All the little things I notice. Like when Raph gets his foot stomped on and Mikey's doing this to Raph, or Mikey's picking on Raph. All the good, talking about their names, all the good ones in the know. I think the suits are very solid and top notch. I love the suit work. I liked Ernie Reyes Jr. a lot better as Tino than Danny. Give a fuck about Danny in the first one. Ernie Reyes Jr., yeah, it's sad we don't have Elias Coates, but I like Ernie Reyes Jr. as Tino. I thought he was a fun character. Wish we could have seen more of him in other movies. And he was good at martial arts. David Warner did fine. I thought some of the jokes actually were rather funny. And again, as a fan of these characters, I see a lot of nice little moments. They're just moments to let them be a family. Moments to let them be as characters. You know, having fun as brothers, playing football or something. Those nice little moments that give them a sense of normalcy or family spirit. It's nice to see them as a family. Because in the first film, they're fairly separated doing their own things. And then Splinter gets taken and they're very sad and all that stuff. And it's not until the end. But here, it's fun to see. Now, yes, does that have problems too? The fact that there's no Secret of the Ooze in a film called Secret of the Ooze, because they edited the shit out, because David Warner was supposed to be an Utrom, which is an alien, a human body, and underneath is a robot, but the alien looks like Crane for the 80s cartoon. But it was in the comics first as an Utrom, and it was supposed to be David Warner. They cut that out for some stupid reason. I don't give a shit that it's not Bebop Rock City. I like Tokar and Razor. I'm fine with them. I like the designs. I like the suits. I'm fine with them. And yeah, I do wish though that they just fought the Shredder and it wasn't just another Because, you know, at the ending of the first film, Splinter takes care of it. Here, Shredder kind of takes care of himself. So you should have had the Turtles actually fight and defeat Shredder. But again, that's going to be hard to do in PG because you don't have to have the Turtles kill. As they didn't kill in the first movie, I doubt they don't kill in the second movie. I don't blame the director when you put handcuffs on him and say it's got to be PG. They can't kill him. And it's like, but at least have a fight where they. But again, even punches and kicks, like how much do you get away? It just the rating hurts it. But there's a bit more. They could have at least fought the Shredder. They could have at least kicked him, hit him, just like they fought people in that one and the first one. They could have at least done that. So again, each film has their issues, but I think they're the two best movie representations of the Turtles. I mean, one side is more of the cartoon, the other side is more of the comics. And they're 1A, 1B for me. I don't know which I like more. Because I watch them as a double feature. As if it's one film. And I love both. I think 2 is very underrated. And 1 is a classic. So I think those are the two best ones. So I love Secret of the Ooze. I'll defend the film. It's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun. Although fuck Vanilla Ice. And the first one is a damn good flick too. Despite some issues. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.